Thanks again for staying with us on the program TMI on the ITV network. Let's get started with our discussion segment talking about Edo 2024 governorship election bid for 21st of September. The power of incumbency is a major talking point in any election. For those who are in government, they use it as an opportunity to showcase what they've done, with a promise that if they get the nod to retain power, they will continue on that trajectory. And that becomes a major plank of campaign. Look at what we've done. We're only just going to improve on this or get better at this. But on the other side, they say it doesn't matter. What counts is the quality of the personality, the impacts you've made, either in your private life or in your public life, your pedigree, your antecedents, all of those will come into play. It is now left for the electorates to decide based on what has been presented to make that choice. In today's program, our focus will be on the incumbency factor as it relates to Edo State governorship election. Don't forget that at the federal level, we have the ruling APC, and at the state level, we have the PDP ruling. How will all of these cascade into victory for these two major political parties in the forthcoming election? I have with me in the studio the Special Advisor on Political Affairs to Edo State Government, Shadrach Udugbai. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning, my good people of Edo State and Nigeria at large. I'm happy to be with you. Thank you and God bless.
I also have with me here a chieftain of the APC who is the coordinator of Association of Grassroots, talking about Dr. Andrew Omosafe. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, Edo.
We have Idris Zakero, who is the chairman, Labour Party media team for Olumide and Yusuf Kadri partnership. That's talking about the governorship and the deputy governorship candidate for Edo 2024. I've heard people say that the elections in Edo State are very unique. They are defiant. They are unpredictable. The elections are elections that are based on the fact that Edo people are politically savvy, politically conscious, politically educated. And so these incumbency factors will not play a role in these elections. How true is that? Let me begin with Idris.
Well, for us in the Labour Party, it's God that is our father. You know, you defined the APC. They have a godfather in Abuja. The PDP have a godfather in Benin here, Osadebe Avenue. But for us in the Labour Party, it's God that is our father. And like they say, the cow without a tail, it is God that will help him to drive flies. So we are not overtly too bothered about the godfatherism factors in the other people. At the end of the day, power resides with the people in a democracy. It is government of the people, for the people, by the people. Whichever way you now choose to redefine it. So it is the people at the center of governance. That's why the key plank of our campaign is returning people back to the circumference of governance. So for them, they can put their hopes wherever they want to put it. But like the hymn say, our hope is built on nothing else but Jesus Christ and our righteousness. So for us, we're going to continue to engage with the people, talk with them. But I also want to encourage that Edo people have rejected godfatherism for the umpteenth time. This is not the first time that those who are now godfathers today were beneficiaries of the rejection of godfatherism. But painfully, this is the reality. People no longer want to campaign. People cannot campaign in primaries, see the chaos, the civil war, political civil war going on in the PDP now that the courts are making judgment and counter judgment here and there, because a godfather wanted to impose his candidate as against the popular opinion of Shadrach and his friends in PDP. So it is a difficult situation.
Okay.
However, we, like I said, God is our father and we are focused on that.
Okay.
And we continue to talk to our people on the basis of that.
All right, Dr. Mosafe. Yeah, the talk around this election, particularly for your party is that, well, we have federal might, which we intend to bring on board this election. Perhaps that explains why the level of engagement is really not up there for some analysts as far as this election is concerned. How true is that?
But there's a blatant lie. Let me tell you the truth. Our candidates and our party have never really relied on federal might, because we believe that this is not federal elections, but it's a state election. And as a matter of fact, our candidates have been engaging. The fact that we are not going around, we are not seeing that, all those, movements up and down, when you see people moving and with television engagement, and no. Our candidate is a grassrooted politician. Don't forget the Senator of the Federal Republic, and he contested elections, in remote areas. So he's a man from the village. And it's not that type of person that will be going, from conference to conference and making bogus promises that they will not fulfill at the end of the day. The man is talking to those that should be spoken to. Those are the real people at the grassroots, people in the villages, and we are engaging robustly, I must tell you. And the impact of that engagement, you will see on the September 21st. So we do not believe in any federal might. We are not in government in those states. Those in government have since relied on federal might. And if you ask Shedrack, he will tell you that we are going to win this election because the government is bankrolling us. We said, well, no problem. And like you said, we have God the Father, and it's God the Father that will stand for you. It is God the Father that will determine who wins and who loses. And I can tell you for free that with the kind of engagement, robust engagement that our candidate have engaged in, within these few months, you will see the massive victory that it will translate on September 21st.
All right, only time will tell. So, talk to me. What is the conviction in terms of impact made and how all of that will shape this election?
Exactly. For the past 7 years, going to 8 years now, we've had a Governor Godwin Nogagasi Obaseki, who has done meritoriously well. And his divine mandate has touched every facet of sector, every nook and cranny, every creek and crevice of the Edo State. If you look into the civil service, he has done marvelously well. He has repositioned service. He has introduced digital governance for seamless and effortless administration of government purposes. He has repositioned the working environment. He has increased the salaries of an average worker from a mere 30,000 minimum wage to about 70,000 that the Nigerian federal government could not even imagine or dare to pay. If you look at other areas and facets, if you talk about health, he has done a lot where he has introduced numerous, about 2 standing institutions he has revamped. The one who have a Saple Road near Country Road Junction, the other one who have a Dumaze. These are institutions that will train and hone skills for the health and to ensure that we have the right human capacity to enthrone good level of medical attentions to our people in Edo State. He has done well in terms of tourism. He has built, a corridor now. They are going the West African Museum of the Museum for West Africa Arts, MOA. He has done a lot of intervention in projecting Edo State, in ensuring that Edo State is a home of business. He has attracted international investments. Today we have not less than 7 Chinese companies producing different things from ceramic to chairs to glass and fibers, all in Edo State. Today, during his own time, there were like four modular refineries were enthroned in Nigeria, was approved by the then federal government. 2 came down to Edo State. We have 1 in Ologbo, we have 1 in Oregon. We have 2 ethanol processing plants that have boosted the chain for cassava. We have a lot that he has done. I can begin to go on and on. It was Obaseki who enthroned, who revamped and repositioned the way of land administration in Edo State and ensured that we put an end to the CDAs that we used to have, the end of political agberoism, and enthrone persons, and enthrone who had the Edo GIS, a system of government that used to get, you cannot get your CFO. Before CFO used to cost millions, but now it's just hundreds of thousands. CFO used to take over 2 years, but now barely 2-3 months your CFO is out. His mandate has gone across. He has revamped, repositioned over 46 healthcare centers. The man has done meritoriously well. That's just to mention only a few. In transport, he has also done well. We've seen the ECTS have been moving. And for the past over 1 year plus now, the bus have been moving free to ensure that he's able to attend to the needs of the poor and the masses in the state. He has rebuilt the Obakawe Park. The man has done a lot. In education, we have the the basic education sector transformation, which has won numerous awards. We've had national governments in Liberia and other parts come to Edo State to study what we have done in education. Obaseki has done it, and we are leveraging on that. And very clearly, I have it on good authority to see that the All Progressive Congress, with the style of campaign, because campaign, the Electoral Act was reamended to create more room for electoral campaigning. But we see that even this wide game, over 5 months have been provided, the candidate of the APC has not been going anywhere because the man was not able to sell. He has no vision, he has no ambition to sell to Edo people because they are relying on federal might. But Edo State, as we did in 2020, will prove that federal might is not an allotted number of votes deployed in favor of the perceived interest of the presidency for his specific candidates. We will prove to them that no manner of police in the intervention, no matter of state facility can be used to intimidate or bully Edo voters to submission. We are going to stand and vote. Edo voters, I anchor on them as one of the most cosmopolitan, sensitive voters in Edo. They are wise and they know their owners and how to defend their vote. The only voters that can be compared to Edo are those in Kanu. They are very rational. That's why I keep saying that. At least Peter Obi thing caught fire in Edo State, even what he did in the East. So we know that Edo people know what the issue has. They know the kind of person that we want in Edo. Edo people are people who are fair. They understand the principles of fairness, equity, and justice. They understand that Edo people comes from different ethnic groups, and there's need for us to stand together and ensure that every nook and cranny has equal access to power and empowerment. That everybody has a sense of belonging. Because no one person can come out and say that a particular ethnic race, because they just form a mere minority, should be disenfranchised. They should be reduced to mere spectators in the collective affairs of their state. So Edo people are on ground. We are working hard. My candidate, Asa Godalo, is known to have gone around the nooks and crannies of Edo State, telling people his elaborate manifesto, the pathway to prosperity. Is a man who has the requisite competence and character, a man who has trained and honed the skills, a man who has proven beyond all doubt to have the capacity to manage both man and material to prosperity. Asa Godalo is trained, is seasoned professional who had led other parastatals. When it comes to me, what it is adds of that, he has been board chairman of different regions. It shows that the man.
Okay, let's try and stay focused on the conversation so we don't lose track. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'll pause you here. I'll pause you the setback. Idris, let me come to you. In the last general election, we saw how things turned out for the Labour Party. And a major cornerstone for that achievement was the personality and the persona of Peter Obi, as it were. This is not a national election. It's a sub-national election.
Absolutely.
Against the background of the fact that we have an incumbent government, which some have said, like him, that it's done well.
As essay to the government.
And then a whole lot of that going on. What's your take on the level of consciousness and awareness of the key issues in these elections by the electorate?
We've in the Labour Party, we've gone around the 18 local governments and we have highlighted it to them. You know, like the key issues are that today, when it rains, you need amphibious features to navigate the town. Today is that a government, this government, then will list a 100 years old hospital to build a museum in a place 3 feet away from a place you have a national museum. That's the kind of thinking that is running this government. So the issues are that today a bag of gari in Edo State costs 85,000 naira. You can't afford it. I'm not talking of basmati rice. I'm talking of gari. The gari that used to be the poor man's last resort. It has now increased. The thing is that as we speak now, there are policemen in Sapele Road guiding a court because patriotic Edo citizens have gone there in solidarity with their Omonoba. Whereas, I'm just coming from Owan, where my dear brother Dubai Shedra comes from. There are areas that have been ceded to kidnappers. People no longer go to farms. People
you did the seeding.
No, they have they are politically. It's been seeded. You know when I give
ungoverned spaces.
Ungoverned spaces. In Uromi, for example, the driver they told me that so time between the hours of this and you do not pass through this road because it is infested with kidnappers. And a government stays in Benin City, pretend like it has done so much for it. It's a joke. It's a big joke. So for us in Labour Party, we have said that we are not going to play this rhetoric. We are not going to play this game with them. We are not going to have these conversations with them. Our work is to put people back in the center of governance. Edo has not been governed in the last 8 years, particularly has not been governed in the last 8 years. You can speak on, it's not, we are not in a debate. We are talking real life here, but my dear brother has to realize that this is not a inter-school, inter-sport, inter-house sport debate. This is a conversation about the lives of Edo people. And it matters. Edo people must matter in this next election. We are saying you don't do to bad governance. And we cannot continue to live and pretend. You can live and pretend all you want, but the reality stares you in the face. So the issues are clear. We are going to fix roads. We are going to fix our health. We are going to fix agriculture. Agriculture, let me talk a little about agriculture. The lands belong to the governor. The land in every state belongs to the government of that state, and by factor of that belongs to the governor. How come that in Edo, what are we producing in Edo State, for example, now that is staple food that you and I can eat? Why are we suffering? There is Ilushi, the farm in Ilushi that they pretend 5 billion was sunk into it. One bag of rice is not.
What's your evidence to that?
I will furnish you. I am on national TV, so I can say, I will say it, and then when the people dispute it, let them take me to court. That is why the courts are there. The Sobe farm, I was in Sobe. Do you know that the people of Sobe, in the palace of Sobe, made it clear that they've not seen Nepal light for 5 years? And they will say, oh, they built a power station. Look, this is a joke.
Okay.
So for us in Labour Party, returning people back into the center of governance, taking people, pulling people out of poverty, moving Edo State from consumption to production, making our people matter in the equation of things, not where they want to do alagodaro, they import more from Lagos and microwave it in Benin. I know you asked me for evidence, but the evidence is those who ate it.
Okay, let me pause you there. Dr. Omosefe, there is hunger in the land. And when people talk about the hunger, poverty, starvation in the land, they point accusing fingers to the center, to the federal government, which is run by your party. Don't you think this is going to be a major minus in your party's aspirations in these elections, talking about the power of incumbency? As
okay, like you said, this election is not a federal election, it's a state election. And as a matter of fact, when you talk of hunger in the land, poverty, underdevelopment, you agree with me that Nigeria as a federal entity does not consist of the federal government alone. You have the state government and you have the local government. And if we all agree, which I don't also want to even completely agree, that the federal government has failed, what has the state government done to remedy the situation?
No, but you say you don't completely agree, which means you agree to an extent.
No,
yeah, that's what it means.
I don't completely agree.
No, but you said why you don't completely, which means you agree to an extent.
You know, and I'll prove it here.
Okay.
When fuel subsidy was, though we are not talking of federal, because I would like to stick with the issues that brought us here.
Yeah.
But let me quickly say that when fuel subsidy was removed, who were the greatest beneficiaries? The state governors. Do you know how much they have received? The humongous increase that has occurred in the federal allocations and all the funds they have received from government, from the federal government, what have they done with it? All of the palliatives that have come to Edo State government, where are they? Where are the palliatives? Now let me come back. When my friend there was talking, intelligently, I must give it to him. I've known him for years, and I know he's very smart. You know, but the truth is this. Today, the issues that shaped Edo elections 4 years ago is completely different from what is going to shape this election. And there are promises that were made by the state governor that on the back of those promises, he rode to Government House. Those promises till today remains unfulfilled. When when you say we built hospital, health sector, where are you? The man promised one hospital,
one health care center per ward. I'm not aware that both of you are not in the same party.
No, I'm not guiding you.
Okay, all right.
Where are the health centers? Instead, you demolished the pride of Edo, over 100-year-old hospital, in favor of what? Museum, artifacts that doesn't belong to you. You demolished the place, and you are building. It is said, I don't know what that means.
Museum for West African Arts.
Well, that doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Now, you demolished library. Instead of working on the library, revamping it, and making it a hub where our children could learn. I wrote my first degree project at the Edo State Library. All right? Now, you demolished it in favor of what? Shopping mall, supermarket. See, let me tell you the truth. Edo people are smart. You promised Malaysia University of Technology, Innovation. Where is it? Where is Gilegele Seaport? I mean, come on. Where is Edo North Airport? He roared. Last time I said it here. When he roared at the palace of the Otaro of Auchi, I am going to build a seaport in Edo North. Everybody clapped and hailed, not knowing that it was empty promises as usual.
Seaport in Edo North.
Excuse me. Yeah, you had your time.
Okay,
Let me finish.
Yeah, quickly anchor the point.
Let me finish. When they beautifully designed a graphics and said Obaseki has done well, he has given us farm in Ilushi, rice farm. Where is the farm? In fact, where is the farm in Sobe? How many grains of rice have we bought from there? When you called me and asked if I was close, what did I tell you? I said my area is flooded. I basically live under the water as we speak. Every people are under the water.
So you must have developed some amphibious features.
You gave me enough time, so I believe you also give me the same time to land. And those people are basically living under the water. When it rains, yesterday you could see me. Normally in the evening when in the evenings like this on Sunday evening, I normally hang out with friends. We just take a few bottles and we're happy. Yesterday at 3:30. I was telling my friend, Oga, I must leave here in the next 30 minutes because it's threatening to rain and the trains I can't enter my house. You need to see me running home because the government did not see the need to deflood Edo. In fact, when they came up with the antics, Adams Oshomole ate money for stormwater project, and we said, come on. You were part of the government. Your company was even part of the consultancy for that project. And you collected your percentage. Don't forget that government is continuous. If the government started stormwater project that could have deflooded Edo, ensured that you don't have flood anywhere in Edo, and then you came, instead of you to continue with the project and see to a logical conclusion, what did he do? He stopped the project. Now we are suffering it. Okay. Edo is submerged. Okay, what I am saying here is very, very clear and simple. That this election will be determined by a lot of this. Now look at it. He made mention of, he mentioned the issue of artifacts with the Oba of Benin. Come on. These artifacts have spiritual implications for Benin Kingdom. Many of these things that were taken away, do you think these brothers are returning them now? They are returning them with their clear eyes. Those things are just finding their way back to its original domain, back to where it belongs. And then you are now coming and saying you want to do what? For me, as far as I'm concerned, you are planning. So you are attempting to reloot some of these things that were looted.
So the spirits behind those things,
our forefathers do not sleep. Our forefathers are always protecting us, and they are saying, take me back to where I belong. These things are coming back. Somebody is now saying, no, I'm going to seize them. You are building Mugwa. What do you mean? Now, let me tell you the truth. As we speak, what Edo people have suffered in the hands of Governor Obaseki is too much. Do you even know?
That's the subjective opinion.
He has not been paying salaries.
No,
He's paying salary.
Okay. We are talking about, do you know people's lands were grabbed? Yeah. By this same man who said, okay, we are going to abolish land grabbing.
Dr. Mosef, I'll pause you there.
About the lands that were collected.
I'll pause you there.
Your brother just said governor owns land.
Guys are still crying.
Dr. Mosef, I'll come back to you in a moment. Let's take one at a time.
Okay.
But I need
let me attack the
we're talking about incumbency factor.
Very well, my leader.
On the positive side and on the negative side, there's a whole lot to talk about. I need you to respond to some of these issues.
This secretary just said governor owns land. All the land belongs to the governor. Now this is why I say governor took the land. Governor took the land.
That's why the people are purchasing. People are purchasing land.
They are not probating and appropriating at the same time. Let me establish this. It is irritating for me. It's nauseating. It's essential thing. For persons who want to know better to come to public domain and begin to spread ignorance, half truth and outright lies. When he says Sobe, there's no light in Sobe for 5 years. My village light was cut because we're owing NEPA bill to the tune of 15 million. And now we're at the price of pain. Sobe is also owing and the light has cut. But it comes to public domain, makes it a political statement. He said Gary costs 85,000 per bag. Ask him how they sell it in other states. Is he those states that it's most expensive? When they create problem at the national level, there's double-digit inflation. Naira is falling down recklessly. Even the state government is working against the tide. The APC has enthroned us with preposterous amount of suffer, pervasive hunger and unemployment. The state government is copping hard. It's even juxtaposing the failures of the federal government by showing that he puts more money in the pocket of civil servants, increasing their wages. He's creating jobs. He is attracting foreign investors. This man is talking about Law 35, talking it as though he's not very expert. He does not understand the tenets of democracy. He's member of Obasanjo's father's house. That place they are putting that is here Obasanjo residential building. Obasanjo is putting together a work. Go and look at the construction that is taking place at that particular spot is pointing about. The Museum of West African Art, where the artifacts are being resumed, are going to be put for public use and public view, so that it will generate money for the state and return Edo State as a hub for tourism. Go and look at other sites that have been dead, have been resumed. See, the truth is that we need to understand what the issues are. We need to know where we are going as a people. I don't want to engage my brother here from APC because last time I came, I damaged someone from APC and he ended up by saying, go and vote for Labour Party, APC, or people. But let me face down my other candidate that said it's from the Labour Party. You know, no, they are good. Because they
I didn't say I'm from Labour Party, I am from Labour Party.
No, when they because they've not had ample opportunity to pretend over the affairs of government, they begin to speak as though they have the magic wand. That's what they said in APC. We gave them ample opportunity and they frustrated Nigerians for the past 3 administrations from Buhari down to Tinubu. See, the person they gave ample opportunity to even become senator of Edo South, go and ask. Currently, people are making grounds in social media that the man should be recalled because of the grassy competence and incapacity of the man to develop, to perform at the level of a federal legislation. So when we are saying that they should bring the Labour Party, no, it's not just about the party, it's about the man. The Labour Party did not get to permanence until Peter Obi got it to the target. And what made Peter Obi enter into the ticket that gave it that loud in Arosa? Because the man had worked before now. The man had gained strong expertise in public and private sector. The man had been in government and has shown clearly that he can manage resources to prosperity. The man has proven that he's independent, he's not corrupt in any way. That was why Edo people and majority of Nigerians followed Peter Obi to the Labour Party and voted massively for him. So when we are talking about Edo State election and they are coming back, see, even Peter Obi knows that the Olumide Akpata is not his preferred candidate for governorship. As well, Godalo is his preferred candidate. Go and ask, have it on good authority to say. Because the Opide movement...
He told you this personally.
See, the Opide movement is a movement that is found on strong beliefs. They are found on equity, fairness, and judgment. The Opide movement is... See, Labour Party is baseless until Opide movement came on board. And Opide movement are independent thinkers who are anchored on the principles of equity, fairness, and justice. Then their candidate practically left the ballot immediately. He went to the Labour Party went to pick the candidate from Edo South because it's a wise statement telling them that after Godwin Obaseki from Edo South had done well for past 8 years, that the power must return in Edo State and power should only be rotated between Edo North and Edo South, which shows that the whole ethnic cleavage of Edo Central should be reduced to nothingness. They are not worthy enough, they are not fit to partake in the political waters of Edo State. That for me is irritating. Obaseki insisted, because of his cosmopolitan outlook, that Edo State must bring a governor from Edo Central. It was so bad that even after APC did their primaries, they had to quickly go back, cancel the primaries, and take 2 weeks to go and do a new primaries because they ensured the need to bring a candidate from Edo Central. Why is it for? Because they quickly had to realign to capture that interest of equity, fairness, and justice. See, we can make our math as we like. We could begin to make business allusions. We need to say Obaseki, but the Edo people know better. The good ways of Edo people are out there. The candidates are out there to present themselves. Okay. See, my brother shouldn't waste their life because Edo people will never vote to a candidate that does not live between a museum and a zoo. Edo people will never vote to a candidate that failed work at the age of 36. Edo people will not vote for a museum, a candidate that does not know the distance.
I don't want to get personal.
No,
let's not get personal. Let's not get personal.
Forgive me about that. Forgive me about that. But what I'm trying to say is that the people must show that they have what it takes to govern the affairs. No one means about to sit over the affairs of governance, the collective patrimony of Edo State, to pretend and make laws and make allusions, and they bring people who do not have the requisite capacity, who do not have the character, who are not standing on.
Let me pause there because we're going to bring this conversation to a close in a moment. But Idris, let me come to you. I've heard people say that this election is not about the political parties, but about individuals, their pedigrees, their historical background in terms of where they've worked, what they've done over the years, and a whole lot of stuff like that. Let's get your perspective.
I think wide allegations, my dear brother there is making very wide allegations like the wide west. You know, he talked about, I'll speak to your question, but...
but you have to speak to my question now because of time.
Very quickly.
Speak to my question.
He made some allegations that Obedient Movement are supporting. That's a lie from the people. He was never a member of the Obedient Movement. He supported Atiku in the last election. And talking about just equity and fairness, another kite they are flying. They do not believe in it. It's just the Godfather's opinion. Now, talking about candidates, I think their candidate frankly, the PDP candidate is the weakest in the election, frankly. And I will explain how. As the head of Nigerian breweries lost 140 billion, 2 consecutive
business allegations.
So you have to listen. My brother, you have to listen. You can't obstruct me like that. You just have to listen so that you know your candidate more because you know him. You understand? Same with Sterling. Sterling Bank is the official bank of the Edo State government. The Ilushi scam, the 5 billion Ilushi scam. And I'm saying this, let them take me to court. The 5 billion Ilushi scam was scammed through Sterling Bank. Yes. That there was no farm, but money was budgeted for the farm.
You're the cash officer.
So it is a shame that such a candidate will come sweet mouth, use the job man voice to try to cajole Edo people. Now talk about the Labour Party candidate. The Labour Party candidate, Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata, for example, is the most, is the only one that has even contested national elections and won. He runs the biggest law firm in Nigeria, 10+, 3 senior advocates of Nigeria, 120 lawyers. He is a man that says what he means and means what he says. He's not a pretender. He's not a cosmetic candidate, the one they package and they bring consultant and brand strategists from Lagos to come and package to put in Edo faces that is acting skit. We are not skit makers. The business of leading Edo State is a serious business. And I'm using this to encourage my brother. There is no need wasting time saying, this candidate. Look, you cannot be threatening people who have 60% of the population. That, you cannot zone it to this place, you zone yourself out of it. How can you say that a Benin man, that because the candidate of Labour Party is from Benin, then we have been zoned out of the ticket? You are joking. It's a serious joke.
There's something you said just now about winning, being the only person who has won a national election. That was at the level of the NBA.
NBA, of course. No, the APC candidate has also won.
Just so that, apart from that, and apart from his personal private law practice, where he said he employed 3 senior advocates of Nigeria and several numbers of
120 lawyers.
So what other component part do you have as part of his CV in terms of governance, corporate governance, impacts and all of that?
The man is 52 years old, for example. Their candidate is 64, right? And so that because you just said NBA like it was a joke, NBA has 180,000 lawyers, bigger than his editorial district of their candidate. The total number of lawyers under the NBA is bigger than the population of his local government. So let's face it, to head such an organization in the national election is not a joke. And he did it for 2 years and left 1.5 billion in the account of the NBA as savings. For context, Governor Godwin Obaseki met 125 billion in debt from his predecessor. As we speak, Edo is now owing 650 billion. And to further buttress that fact, his candidate, like I said just now, went to Nigerian breweries and they make losses after loss. First year 140 billion, next year 160 billion. Nigerian breweries have to go to the stock market to raise 600 billion so that we and you can drink Star Lager beer. The man almost ran them to the ground. So if you cannot compare apple and berries. Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata is head and shoulders above all right. The rest of it.
Let me get your take on this. Yeah, you wanted to respond to a couple of issues before we call it a wrap.
I am not going to
get your turn.
I'm not going to go personal with him because that was the
Please don't. Now you saw I stopped him in the track.
But the truth is this. When you come on TV, you try to underrate someone who came into a senatorial election in a party that was in opposition, a party that has never actually won national elections in Edo Central. And the man came, he beat their candidate to it in a landslide victory. And you come here and say, he failed WAEC at 36. Well, he is chief examiner.
You know WAEC of 2008 now.
So you say you didn't want to...
2008.
Hold on.
There's nothing wrong with adult education.
Just hold on.
There's nothing wrong with adult education.
You say you didn't want to go personal, but you are re-emphasizing it. You are emphasizing it.
I'm trying to write the falsehood is trying to say to Edo people. Okay. All right? And you underrate a man who is a tech-oriented person.
He does have one of the biggest tech companies anyway.
I didn't know that we are both in the same party now. So perhaps we have APC,
But I don't like lies. Let's not
okay, let's give him the floor.
The ignorance of the PDP and their members has just been reinforced here.
Yes, thank you very much.
Because you come on TV, you won't even do research. You just come and you start, let me tell you the truth. Monday Okpebholo has the capacity, has the competence, has the wherewithal to rule Edo State.
Okay.
In fact, the man is not a talkative. He doesn't go around making bogus promises. You see, one of the problem of the Obaseki administration and the PDP is the fact that Obaseki made very bogus promises. In fact, let me tell you the truth. Obaseki knew from the beginning that he would not fulfill those promises. I'm just telling you the truth.
He told you so?
I am telling you now.
Did he tell you that?
He knew that he will not fulfill. When the man was talking of Gelegele Super, he knew he doesn't have the capacity to do it. Yes.
But
when the man was talking of Edo State, you are saying, when they took Chinese harbor to Gelegele to go and cut rope after signing MOU with millions of dollars, where is the project? Where is the money? I know people benefiting. I hope this is your shoe. You imported it through Gelegele City. Let me tell you the truth. The man knew he would not fulfill. When he was talking of Edo North Airport, some of us laughed. I saw it. I just laughed. Okay. I said, this man has come again. Let me tell you the
finally,
truth.
Finally.
My brother. By the time Monday Okpebholo, aka Akpako is done revolutionizing governance in Edo. The man has told us that he's coming to bring governance to the doorsteps of Edo people.
Okay,
He's coming to bring development to their homes. The time for rhetorics, the time for making bogus promises. Queen's English cannot win the election.
Let me take a final word. Let me take a final word.
Thank you very much.
All right. They are coming again, though. They are coming again. If you go to Protea, they wear suits, they wear tie. They are there. Consultants. The same consultants that have taken Edo's money in billions to Lagos. Leaving Edo underdeveloped, leaving Edo submerged under the water.
All right, Dr. Mosafe, can you pause now?
And they know that.
All right, let me get a final word from you. Yeah.
Yes, I thank God that we have come to this logical conclusion. The campaign is out. The candidates are out for themselves. And the reason for campaigning is that so that the candidates can introduce themselves to the people, can read out their manifestos, what we can do and what we have done. And so for me, I feel that those people, they are enlightened enough. I pride myself to be from Edo State, which is one of the most educated and vastly traveled people in the whole of West Africa. So for me, I think it's going to be a pushover. So when people, I would love to report about it, when people begin to make allusion that you can't zone it out of Edo Central, the zoning doesn't count. Olumide Akpata, take it from me, you can go and research, became president of the NBA only when it was zoned to Midwest, South Nigeria. It was on the base of zoning, he became there. If it wasn't zoned, he wouldn't have gotten close, half close to it. And if we begin to look at the issue, I won't want to talk about my brother.
That's incorrect anyway.
No,
that's incorrect, but go ahead.
It was zoned to Midwest before Olumide Akpata became NBA president.
Midwest does not even exist anymore.
Edo Delta, that's it. So when we talk about, I don't want to join for with my brother here, the APC candidate, because the APC candidate has introduced himself to the people. Anybody that say want to support the Akpako understands why. So it's the Olumide Akpata I want to talk about, because the one appear not to have been fully exposed to the people. So when you talk about governance, there's issue of competence. Those Ikada temple in a room says in one local government. When you go, you saw the rally we did in PDP. It was an elaborate, massive rally. Okay. People came out. So when you talk about competence,
protesting a court judgment. You don't have candidates, my brother.
Okay. All right. There's no way I like you to have this time. He has the floor. He has the floor.
These are my brothers. I like them so well. This my brother Andrew Mozo is more intelligent than the candidate is supporting.
Can you go with the points? Can you go?
As I was saying, if you talk about competence, like maybe I will have other times to come and debate APC, PDP, and Labour Party so that we establish that Olumide Akpata doesn't have the character to go into power. He may have the competence, haven't gained some level of knowledge. But when you talk about the character, the way we die, the emotional balance, because we see some level of anger. Even the way I had spoken before now, we saw the comments he made when Obaseki obviously banned courtesan. We saw that rascal, he said, he threatened, and he showed solidarity with something that has been a menace. When Obaseki became governor of this state, Edo State was the #1 subnational state that was dealing on human trafficking. Obaseki removed Edo State from the top 10 list. And Obaseki wants to do the same with courtesan. That's why he has enacted that is not anti-courtesan law, provided them with over 50.
You should start from government house. That's where the
So when I start government, I will establish the candidates of Olumide Akpata.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Dr. Mosafe, thank you for coming. Shedrack, it's good to have you.